Monday. Here we go. It's Meteorologist Ben at 10. I'm Meteorologist Ben Peine, and so this is your daily weather show for Southern Indiana and beyond. Thanks for joining us on my page, Meteorologist Ben Peine. That is Peine, that you can see right there. Extol Weather on Facebook, Extol Media on YouTube. Thanks for liking or subscribing there, or at extolmag.com/weather. So we are talking about a muggy week ahead. Dog days of summer kind of weather, upper 80s, lower 90s, maximum heat index, maybe mid 90s in the afternoon with that sunshine, and some occasional pop-up showers and thunderstorms. The weather models do call for a late afternoon, early evening round of some showers and thunderstorms later today. So we're going to look at that hour by hour with our future radar with the weather models. We're going to talk about some more rain chances a little bit later on this week as well. So as we head into closer to mid-July, at least we're keeping away drought conditions with these occasional rain showers that we're going to have across the area. And here is a look live out there now at a little bit of those cumulus clouds just starting to grow here as we look here at the corner of Vincennes and Market. So things pretty quiet and humid as we get started here on this early Monday morning here at 10:01. I guess it's mid-morning now. So thanks for tuning in. If you're watching the replay later this afternoon, feel free to drop in a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. Love to see where everybody's tuning in from. So thanks for joining us here this morning. I'm going to bring up some the current conditions across the area. So we are, again, back in the mugginess after a little bit of a break of the humidity. Late last week, around the 3rd of July, 4th of July, humidity wasn't bad. But so that line right there that you see, that is a front. So the front is starting to move into our region. You can see north of the front, if you look very closely, there's a north breeze, and you can see those upper 60s, low 70s. Now, south of the front, Southern Indiana and Kentucky, we still have a southwest breeze, and we are looking at 70s, low 80s, and tropical air back here. Now, this front that is just off to our northwest, that's going to drop closer to us. It's going to be the spark for some scattered showers and thunderstorms a little bit later on today. So that's what we got out there now. Let me go ahead and bring up some more current conditions out there. Just go to extolmag.com/weather. There's my live stream happening right now. There's the 7-day forecast I posted this morning. You can always bring that up full screen there for you. We'll take another look at that here in just a second. There's my weather story for today, talking about the muggy weather and the occasional pop-up storms. The severe weather risk outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, and it has for today us in level 1 out of 5. So the lowest level severe weather risk, and not for tornadoes, but maybe for some localized damaging winds, because the potential of some basically microbursts. This is when the storm kind of collapses. It can bring down some gusty winds. So low threat of severe weather, but some tropical downpour is going to be possible later on today. And there you can see the big old interactive radar here, and you can pop up the temperatures. And there you can see we're already here well into the 80s, 83 degrees, downtown Louisville, 82 there in Sellersburg, 81 in New Albany. So it is getting steamy out there. And as we expand out our view, looks like closest showers right now, southeastern Illinois along that front. Expanding out even more, I'll take off some of these temperatures. We've got a clearer map. Unfortunately, where they had the tragedy in Texas, well, not exactly where they had the tragedy in Texas, but they've got flash flood warnings here just to the southwest of Waco and north of Austin from these slow-moving storms down there in Texas. And then the remnants of Tropical Storm Chantal over basically Washington, D.C. right now. So that's the weather that we have out there now. Here's a live look there with the Falls of the Ohio cam. Falls of the Ohio Foundation.org. Some folks out there walking along the fossil beds. So looking good this morning. Things, again, nice and quiet, just a bit. I wouldn't even say a bit. A lot on the humid side once again across the area. We'll take a look at the dew points, and we're going to dig into the weather today on a Monday to get you going, get you ready for the week ahead. Thanks for popping in, by the way. Let's see who is tuning in this morning. We've got Beverly Haggis. No surprise there. First one popping in the comments. Thanks for tuning in. We got Amy Jo Moore. Thanks for tuning in. And Orlean Whitlow. in the comment section this morning. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. All right, we're back to a couple announcements here. Thanks to ivytech.edu, the Sellersburg location there. Our partners here at Ivy Tech offering so many different programs for your maybe student in high school. You get the dual credit. There's 42 programs offered, but they'll meet you where you are at to level up. So a lot of 2-year certification programs that can help you get to your next level. So check them out, ivytech.edu. And then Lions Roofing, protecting your most valuable asset for a lifetime, 812-294-3595. And if you go to careers, the roofers around here have been so busy because still of the storms that we had in March. So they've got an opening for a roofing repair technician. Learn more at lionsroofingco.com. And then if you want some more opportunities, we've been mentioning this every day as well. There are a bunch of them here at libspaving.com. That is L-I-B as in Ben, spaving.com. You can see all the available opportunities right there. So if you need some work, there you go. There's a bunch of opportunities. NWSB, newwashbank.com. People you know wherever you go. So thanks to all of our partners out there. And a reminder, too, that if you ever want to join up with us, it's easy to do that. We can be your marketing partner, advertising. And you can do that. Contact me, Ben, at extolmag.com, Jason at extolmag.com. And we've been averaging millions of views over the last several months. So thank you all for tuning in to Ben at 10 and checking out all the different content we're putting out on Facebook and YouTube and all over social media and online. So thanks for tuning in to us. Here's that play ball forecast. Noon today, around 87. Pop-up storms, especially late afternoon. Got to try to dodge that for my son Brady's golf match today out at Champions Point. Near 90 degrees this afternoon. It'll certainly feel like 90 degrees. And then we'll try to cool it down. If we get those storms to move through by early evening, that might mix up the air to where it feels a little bit better by evening time. So the rain chance, I've got it at about 60% chance of those showers and thunderstorms late today. We're going to see that with the weather models in detail here in just a second. Southwest winds picking up at around 5 to 15 later on. And we've got some more good mornings here. Leslie Shipley, thanks for tuning in from Madison, Indiana. Just had the regatta there, big weekend in Madison. It's a big weekend everywhere with all the fireworks festivities. Hope you had a good weekend. Dorothy, hope everybody has their fingers left after all the fireworks as well. We had a few that we had in our neighborhood, and we stayed safe, thankfully. Dorothy McDaniel, good morning to you. And Lily Lasley, good morning. Back watching our Ben at 10 episode after just having our Extol Unfiltered, caffeinated by NWSB. And again, we're looking at just a lot of sunshine across the area here in uptown New Albany. We're about to get to those weather models here in just a second. Typically, it's around 10:20 when we do the deep dive into the weather models and get real weather nerdy. So we'll see that here in just a second. But here's back to that forecast for you. The UV index is going to be high today, 10. That is an easy burn. I was out kind of by the pool and the lake a little bit this weekend. Definitely had to monitor the burn situation throughout the weekend. So upper 80s near 90 degrees today. Pop-up storm, southwest wind 5 to 15 for your July 7th. And our sunset at 9:09. And a lot of the activity will start to fade away around sunset. You lose that heat of the day. You typically lose the energy for a bunch of storms around. So there might be an isolated shower left over tonight, but a lot of that activity will fade away around or just after sunset. Sometimes it makes a beautiful sunset. You have those leftover, towering cumulus clouds that can block some of the sun, give you some crepuscular rays. Sometimes it's good for some photography out there in these summer sunsets. Sunrise tomorrow morning at 6:27. We're losing about a minute or two of daylight per day now. Just the way it is for the rest of the year. Tomorrow's forecast for your July 8th, 74 out the door, 86 by noon, and around 90 for the afternoon high. A smaller chance of a pop-up shower or thunderstorm tomorrow. I think most of our Tuesday will be dry. Now, the weather models do bring in another disturbance late Tuesday night into Wednesday. That should give us another higher chance of a round of some showers and thunderstorms into the area. So we'll take a look at that with the weather models too here in just a moment. So back to the forecast. Our normal high is 89. Our normal low is 71. So now through most of August, the hottest part of the year on average. So we're right in the middle, again, of the dog days of summer. Here is your 7-day forecast. 90 tomorrow with that small 20% chance of a pop-up shower. We're going to increase that chance late Tuesday night and into Wednesday. Kind of have a front that's kind of meandering over the region. So it's got a little low pressure that moves along it and gives us a better chance of rain there midweek for Wednesday. I'll drop it to 87 thanks to the extra clouds and the shower chances expected there. 89 with a pop-up shower or thunderstorm possible Thursday. Friday is looking dry, and most of Saturday is looking dry before the next front moves in Sunday, giving us an increasing chance of some showers and thunderstorms. So kind of today, Wednesday, Sunday, the most widespread rain chances. And then in between, you might get a pop-up or two. It's kind of the weather pattern we're in right now. We've got some more comments coming in here. We've got a good morning from Barbara Haas. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you're getting your golf and your beers in soon. Karen Pate, good morning. Hope it cools down soon just a little. Unfortunately, I don't see a change in this weather pattern. I looked at the long-range data, and it just kept us in the humid zone. So we could be in this for a while. We've got Dennis Gregory from Bedford, Indiana. So we got over to Madison. We've got Bedford. Keep putting in your town names. Even if you're watching the replay later this afternoon, drop in the comments. Thanks for showing us where you're from there. And again, as we go back here, let me go ahead and add this back. So here's the interactive radar. I'm going to pop in the temperatures. So there is a front over Indiana. South of it, upper 70s, low 80s. North of the front, they're in the 60s up around Indianapolis. So that is going to be, again, that spark that gives us a good chance of some scattered showers and thunderstorms today. As I bring up the weather maps here, I'm going to bring up the dew point map. That's a measure of the water content in the air. It's kind of the comfort factor as well, kind of your muggy meter. So let me get the current dew points loaded up. When you're in the 70s with the dew points, it is straight up tropical. So you can see from the Rockies west, that's all that dry desert air. And then from the Great Plains east, we are all in that Gulf air, the Atlantic, all that air coming off of those bodies of water, supplying us with a humid environment. So we've got dew points in the lower 70s as promised. If you're watching Ben at 10 last week, the humidity would just gradually creep up as we head into this week. So that air you can wear is here to stay. And that provides the tropical environment for those showers and thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon. Now, this is the radar and satellite. Let me bring up something here. This is the Chantal. I think it's the third tropical storm of the season. It's now a tropical depression, and you can see where it went, made landfall in northern South Carolina, went through North Carolina with some flash flooding there, and is now around Washington, D.C., and kind of falling apart there. So that's a little tropical update in the remnants of what was Tropical Storm Barry, causing that tragedy in Texas, at least 82 lives taken. Still, unfortunately, providing slow moving. That's the problem with these tropical systems. When they come inland in the summertime, they have nowhere to go. There's no upper level winds to push them out. So if you notice here, north of Austin and near Waco, this is an hour-and-a-half loop, and it is just sitting over one area. So there are flash flood warnings ongoing there in central Texas as we speak. And then as we look closer to home, as we go into more of a full screen mode here, right along that front, there are some showers and thunderstorms this morning, just out to the west of Vincennes, Indiana, kind of cruising down towards Interstate 64. So that is what's going to spark the showers and thunderstorms for us a little bit later on this afternoon. All right, so going back, before we get to the weather model data, let me bring up the Storm Prediction Center's severe weather risk. And again, in these tropical environments, when you have very little wind, you'll see the cumulus clouds growing straight up. And when you have very little wind in the atmosphere, it's typically a very low risk of severe weather. So the latest update from the Storm Prediction Center. Let me go back over here. It is trying to load. Let me give it one more second here. Let me try to bring that back up. There's the Climate Prediction Center. There we go. So this is the severe weather risk for today. There's level 3, the enhanced risk over the northern plains, over Nebraska and into South Dakota. But we're just in this little zone of green. That's level 1 out of 5 in the severe weather risk categories from the Storm Prediction Center. The Storm Prediction Center is a division of the National Weather Service out of Norman, Oklahoma. And their one big job is to look across the United States and see where severe weather might happen. So low risk for us for today. They've got us under that level 1 for the potential of what I would call little microburst, downburst winds. In these tropical downpours, sometimes they can kind of collapse and produce some isolated damaging winds. But overall, the severe weather threat is on the low side for our area. Now let's go ahead and bring up the future radar. And we typically like to start with the HRRR, the HRRR, the High Resolution Rapid Refresh Weather Model. And that's what we'll get loaded up here for you. Looking at the reflectivity, which is your typical radar view. And this is time now, basically. And it does show it is picking up very well on a little bit of that activity in southeastern Illinois and near Vincennes. So the initialization of the weather model is in good shape. Good morning. We've got a good morning popping in. Don't be shy. Pop in. Let us know where you're watching from. Good morning from Charlestown. Rita, thanks for watching. Cheers with the Big Happy this morning with just water. All right, as we look ahead to, let's go to 3 o'clock, mid-afternoon. Let's see if anything's popping here. So we're starting to see that activity move a little bit closer. Maybe Jasper, Du Bois County starting to see that. So you can see the trend here from northwest to southeast. As we progress through the afternoon, you're going to see that increasing chance of some showers and thunderstorms. My sun tees off just before 2 o'clock. I'm hoping we can get most of that round in before you can see what happens here. This is 4 o'clock, and then this is at 5 o'clock. So there you can see the active weather starting to gradually move our way as that front moves in, sparking up those cumulonimbus clouds. Nimbus meaning rain, cumulus meaning those towering clouds. So there you can see getting a little bit busier this afternoon. Now, do you want the rain? Because I know there's a lot of yards out there getting a little bit dry, and I'm not against it. I know it's going to grow my grass. I'm going to have to get out there and mow again, but almost getting a little bit crispy out there with some of the yards that haven't seen the rain lately. This is at 6 p.m. If you also notice a trend here, late afternoon, most of this is lining up along and north of I-64. So southern Indiana, kind of a little bit of a bullseye late afternoon for the shower and thunderstorm activity, while areas south over much of central Kentucky may end up drier for a lot longer. And this is at 7 o'clock. Again, kind of lining up along and north of 64. This is 8 p.m. As we head towards sunset, it looks like things will begin to settle down. Kind of like clockwork, you lose the heat of the day, and then you lose the energy for the storms. Amy Jo Moore, I like the rain. Yes, please. An added benefit of the rain, not only because it's the growing season and our lawns and gardens could use it and the farm fields out there, but also, again, it can kind of mix up the atmosphere, bring some of that rain-cooled air to the surface and give us a little bit of a break from the high heat and humidity as well. All right, so let's move forward in time. Let's actually compare and contrast with the NAM 3 kilometer. We're going to go back to time now and see how it is doing in loading up. And it is also picking up very well on where there is some showers out in southeastern Illinois. So this is the other high resolution weather model, the NAM 3 kilometer. 3 kilometers shows you what resolution it is with its data points. This is at noon today, so we're mostly dry through early afternoon, it looks like. This is at 2 o'clock. It shows just a couple of these little pop-up isolated showers. 3 o'clock right here, and you see it just kind of grows into the late afternoon. This is at 4 p.m. This is at 5 o'clock. So ramping up late day. There is 6 p.m. with the NAM 3 kilometer. And then here is 7 o'clock. So this is the representation of the NAM 3 kilometer. There you can see the pop-up downpours across the area for later today. It shows a bit more than the HER weather model, which has kind of been, I would say, it's biased lately. You can see it more south into western Kentucky later today. Looking a little bit farther down the road here. This is at 8 p.m. And then here's at 9 o'clock. And then again, the trend, we kind of lose the heat of the day. We lose the showers and thunderstorms. And we got Paula Bird. Good morning, Ben. Thanks for all the updates. You're welcome. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you, Paula. All right, going into tomorrow, we're going to fast forward here to tomorrow morning with the NAM 3 kilometer. This is 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, showing mostly dry conditions across the area. There might be an isolated shower that persists through the nighttime, but most areas will be dry. This is going into noon tomorrow, mostly dry conditions around the region. Two o'clock. I'm going to stop it here at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon when you typically expect some pop-up showers. Notice much more isolated tomorrow. So I've dropped it to about a 20% chance of a pop-up shower tomorrow afternoon. Looks like most areas will be dry for our Tuesday. Now, want you to pay attention here to tomorrow night as we look ahead. That could be our next pretty good round of some showers and thunderstorms. We've got Joseph Rubel saying Shelby County needs the rain. I was one to put up the Squire Boone statue up in Shelbyville. I got you. Yeah, we'll try to get you some rain here soon. We'll definitely have several chances this week, Joseph. Christian Walker, good morning to you. Thanks for tuning in to our Ben at 10 this morning. This is around 6 p.m. tomorrow. I'm going to back up the view. So notice the active weather out west heading towards St. Louis tomorrow evening. It looks like that'll be the next disturbance that heads our way. So today we've got this front that's going to spark a round of showers and thunderstorms, and then late tomorrow night it looks like a pretty good chance as well. So this is at around 10 p.m. tomorrow evening, 11 o'clock tomorrow night. So right around midnight or later, we're starting to see the chances of showers and thunderstorms ramping back up. Again, this would be a super low threat of any severe weather, mostly tropical downpours. So this is at 2 a.m. So tomorrow night, will you wake up to the sound of thunder? This is at 3 a.m. early Wednesday morning. So late tomorrow night into early Wednesday, looks like a pretty good chance of another round of showers and thunderstorms across the area. We got Wyatt Wright tuning in this morning from the Valley Station area. Thank you, Wyatt, for watching here. He's going to let us know again, Wyatt, when you're going to fire up your weather podcast as well. All right, let's see how far out we can push this weather model here. This is going into we're 54 hours out into Wednesday morning on the 9th. Might start off with some showers around. Got a little area of low pressure moving through the region on Wednesday, which would keep us, I got it at about a 60% chance of some showers and thunderstorms for Wednesday. Just clicking along. And then now we've run out, as expected, from the NAM 3 kilometer. We'll go into the GFS. High resolution. This is Wednesday at 2 p.m. And this is at 5 o'clock. So decent rain chances across the area for midweek there Wednesday. Christian Walker got a pop-in question. Is it raining in Indianapolis, Indiana? Don't believe it is right now. In fact, we can just go ahead and bring that up. This is your show, by the way. Please do what Christian is doing. Interrupt, and we can pivot. We can move around, whatever you want here. So right now, Indianapolis is dry there, Christian. But we can look at if you've got some plans to be in Indy later today. Let me bring up the future radar one more time. So this is later this afternoon. Showing a chance of a shower or thunderstorm passing by. And we'll have that chance as well later on today, too. All right, Wyatt popping in again this Thursday at 3 o'clock. Fantastic. This is the week Wyatt's going to start his very own weather podcast. All right, so now we go back to the GFS, trying to help Christian out there with that question. And I'm going to pop ahead back to Wednesday. So that would be the 9th, 5 p.m. There you see some of that rainfall across the area. And then now I'm going to go ahead into the 10th. And Thursday looks drier. There might be an isolated pop-up shower. This is Thursday afternoon. It does show a little bit of activity across the area. Would not be surprised to see that. And then as we go into Friday, Friday's looking mainly dry. I'm going to jump ahead to the 11th afternoon. And I'll be heading up toward Indianapolis for a few days, Thursday afternoon through the weekend. So this is Friday. Looks like most of us will get a break in the rain Friday. Pretty quiet weather across the region. Hot, upper 80s, low 90s. Into Saturday the 12th. Mostly dry as well. Just shows some isolated stuff. I got like a 20% chance for Saturday. Not a big deal there. But then late Saturday night and into Sunday, it looks like that'll be the next perhaps round of some showers and thunderstorms heading our direction. So it's 5 p.m. Sunday, and there's later in the day Sunday. So Sunday, a little better chance of some widespread showers and thunderstorms. Saturday, for now, Saturday looks like the drier day of the weekend. Lillian popping in. What about Friday? So Friday is looking mostly dry. I've taken the rain chance out of Friday. So we're looking pretty good there. Anita Meredith says, thanks for the rain. Yeah, we'd be in trouble if we don't get the rain. I know it can be an inconvenience sometimes. Again, my son's got a golf match today, would rather dodge the rain out there, but I know if we don't get it, then that can be very troublesome for the gardens, the yards, and the fields out there as well. So in the summertime, the rain is often a blessing. So there you go. That's what we have for the long range outlook. The Climate Prediction Center, as I bring up that map, is starting to show after this week. So this is the 6 to 10 day outlook, little bit above normal temperatures across the region, which that would mean most likely lower 90s for much of next week. And as we go to, this is the 8 to 14 day outlook. So you're going a couple weeks out here, and it is showing a warm, hot, it says better than average chances. So above average chances of warmer than normal temperatures across the United States, at least most of the United States. And that means for us, most likely quite a few 90s here through much of our July. So I know a lot of you are asking, when are we going to get that break in the heat? When's it going to cool down? Might be a struggle to cool down here through the month of July, unfortunately. Take another peek outside. Seeing a few of those low-level cumulus clouds just starting to grow. And, like last week when we were in that pattern as well, and all this humidity is back in the air, you can just watch these cumulus clouds grow throughout the day. And then eventually some of them get big enough to turn into some storms. So similar situation this week, except the heat isn't extreme. It is going to be super sweaty out there. It is going to be muggy, no doubt about that. But we're not talking heat index values like around 105 or anything like that. Hot, yes, but not crazy, crazy hot. Okay, let's bring back the forecast here as we begin to wrap things up on this Monday. Thanks for popping in. As always, if you're watching the replay, please join us in the comments there too. Here is that play ball forecast for today. So 87 at noon, near 90 this afternoon. Hoping that we get some of these storms, especially in southern Indiana. I think it's going to be drier south of Louisville today, but to mix up the atmosphere and then maybe drop us to the upper 70s and low 80s by 8 p.m. So might not be a bad evening out on the porch or the back deck if we can get some of that rain-cooled air later on today. UV index before that storm chance is going to be very high at a level of 10. We don't see it at 11 or above very often here. 89 degrees for our July 7th today. Muggy with those pop-up storms. Low severe weather threat. Most of this is just tropical downpours, some lightning and thunder, and some brief gusty winds as they move through. Our low tonight, 72 degrees, partly cloudy, humid with maybe an isolated shower lingering, but a lot of this activity will diminish after sunset. Our sun up tomorrow at 6:27 as we slowly lose about a minute or so of daylight per day. So we're getting some later sunrises and a little bit earlier sunsets. 74 out the door tomorrow. I've dropped it to just a 20% chance of an isolated shower. Most areas will be dry tomorrow. Looking at 86 at noon and around 90 for tomorrow afternoon. Here's your 7-day forecast. We've got 87 for Wednesday with some scattered showers and thunderstorms likely. And I do think pretty good chance that late tomorrow night we could have some storms roll into our area. A few pop-ups there for Thursday with a high of 89 degrees. And then Friday looking dry right now at 91. 92 Saturday and an isolated pop-up shower or thunderstorm. So it continues to be good lake or pool weather. If the pool doesn't warm up too much with this kind of weather, you get those warm nights with lows in the lower 70s. And then Sunday right now looks like we could have a system move in Sunday, giving us a better chance of some more widespread showers and thunderstorms across the area. And then perhaps dry again by next Monday near 90 degrees. So you know, if you don't like this weather, this is like those of you that don't like the really cold weather in January, you just got to push through July and August. We know it's going to be steamy and sticky most of the time, and it's living up to that, no doubt about it. Cheers. We've got Lily and Lasley popping in with, I love this weather. You cannot make it any better. And I do too. I love the summer weather. This has been, I don't know if you've noticed this, for us where we live, our little neck of the woods, it has been the buggiest early summer that I can remember. I mean, ticks and ants and beetles and whatever else is out there. They're a high population. I'm wondering if it's because of all the rain that we had through the spring season. And there's that theory that if we have a cold, hardy winter, it'll kill off a lot of the bugs. I'm not buying that anymore. I've just never seen it happen. But maybe the spring just provided the food and the sustenance for these bugs to kind of overpopulate. I don't know if it's the same situation where you're at, but it's been a buggy summer so far. All right, so there is that forecast. I can bring up the radar and satellite one more time before we wrap things up on our Monday edition. You know, we're looking at more clouds here in, let me remove that and bring this up. So notice the cloud cover increasing in central Indiana as that front moves in. So it looks like we'll start to lose a little bit of sunshine later today, and then we'll start to see that front kick up some showers and thunderstorms over our area. So the front is right about here. And these fronts this time of the year are so weak. I mean, they don't, and this is going to get stuck just off to our north, so we're not going to get any real refreshing air from it unless you get some rain-cooled air. So this front is going to spark those scattered showers and thunderstorms mid to late afternoon. And it looks like a lot of this is going to be along and north of 64. So that zone right there. And so areas here south of 64 might end up a bit drier later on today. We've got Christian Walker. I love it hot. Love the hot weather. I don't like the cold weather. I agree mostly, but I do like to ski or snowboard in the wintertime. That's kind of the only time it's fun. Yes, it is at my house too. All right, so currently dry. Have some of that rain gear for later on today as the rain chances ramp up later on. Super quiet from the Rockies west. I mean, it is full on clear sky. Look at that big high pressure over their region. All right, so that sums it up right there. Let's get back to some shout outs here before we wrap it up. extolmag.com/weather, your interactive radar. Some great tools here. You can pop on any alerts that there might be, none around our region. You go down to Texas here, they've got flash flood warnings here north of Austin, just out to the west of Waco. There's the information on that flash flood warning. So you can go anywhere in the United States and check out what the weather's doing. And again, our thoughts are with just the tragedy of the flash flooding that happened on the early morning hours of July 4th in Texas. So again, there's more maps here, lots of tools that you can get at extolmag.com. We've got our live stream up here on this red little box here. You can click on that and subscribe to our YouTube channel, EXTOL Media, Extol Media on YouTube. Thanks for liking or subscribing there. ivytech.edu, it's the Sellersburg Spotlight. Just go to locations and go to Sellersburg and learn everything you need to know. So tomorrow's Tuesdays at the Tech. You can register for one-on-one information. Right now is the summer session. August 25th is the fall session. I believe they're offered every 8 weeks. And so, and you can see to the right, 42 different programs offered. Programs for high schoolers, free credential with next level jobs, attend 2 colleges at once. They make it as easily as it possibly can to get that post-secondary education. And they're leveling you up to get jobs like this. Roofing repair technician job opening here, 812-294-3595. This is Lions Roofing, lionsroofingco.com. Check out what they have to offer there, protecting your most valuable asset for a lifetime, your rooftop. So again, that is 812-294-3595. And apply now. Look at the available employment opportunities here at Libs Paving. No excuses here. If you need some work, maybe a new career, check out all these jobs. So get after it there at libspavingco.com. Get that paycheck, head over to NWSB. People you know wherever you go, banking the way you want. A lot of that banking the way you want is right there online. Lots of different services offered there at newwashbank.com. So thanks to all of our partners out there and for you partnering up with us and watching our show this morning. On this Monday, as always, you can become an advertising partner, sponsor, marketing partnerships, all different kinds of things where we can be your megaphone here in Southern Indiana. Just contact me, Ben at extolmag.com. Thank you to those of you who have already contacted me. If it's just a weather question, feel free to reach out. Jason at extolmag.com as well. Either one of us can help you out right away. Been averaging millions of views over the last several months. And again, all thanks to you guys for tuning in and checking out our content right here on Ben at 10, but also just throughout the day. I like to post the radars, keep you up to date 24 hours, almost 24 hours a day, as much as I possibly can, obviously. Usually I put out the 7-day forecast around 4 o'clock, tomorrow's forecast around 7, 8 o'clock, just to keep you up to date on what's going on every single day. So thanks for tuning in, liking, or subscribing on my page, Meteorologist Ben Peine. There you can see it right there, Peine. Extol Weather on Facebook. We've got some more videos that we post there. Extol Media on YouTube at extolmag.com/weather. So thanks for, again, partnering up with us and tuning in here this morning. Check out the last comments of the day, and it might be right here to Alicia Milburn. Good morning with the heart emoji. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you're watching the replay, thank you so much for tuning in later today or tonight. I see those numbers going up throughout the day. So if you're one of those folks, thanks for watching. Maybe not live, but watching that replay, and drop in the comments, even if you're watching later in the day. All right, that's your Monday edition. It's now 10:40. We've gone 40 minutes. And again, later on this afternoon, if we start to see some storms popping up, we'll have some more updates later today on my page. All right, we'll see you tomorrow for July 8th edition of Ben at 10. Have a good one out there. Make it a good Monday.